legal services.
Go ahead,
I'm not gonna ask.
What'd you want to do with the legal services?
I thought that that could be decreased. I mean, it's at 75,000 and I don't think that we use that. What does everybody else think?
I think you got a little padding there.
So,
Oh, you got a quarter?
what do you want to leave it at 20? I mean,
No, I think I took it down to,
50?
25. We've only used 2633. What did we use year to date now? Legal services, we've used a lot of it this year. I say that openly because I'm pretty sure that we paid some of the issues over at the jail. The taser incident and we've had 3 large claims at the jail for tort claims we paid out.
okay, so maybe that can't change.
Do you see where I'm coming with that? Now that I see that amount. The global, the bunting, and the taser claim all got paid out of that legal for the
Back to the original question.
Where's the money coming?
Where's the money coming from?
I think you need to just put a dollar amount in the commissioner's budget of half of what we need to come up with, or you're sooner or later gonna expense the entire rainy day.
No, I agree that we need to have a line item somewhere.
I don't know how much to put in it. I'm trying to save the rainy day fund, I guess is what I'm trying to say. We're gonna end up not having anything in rainy day.
I just totaled up the ones that's in the parentheses here, that through the commissioner's thing here, and I come up with 371,779.
Yeah, but we put institutional care back in there. That was 150.
You know, kind of count up what went up too.
Well, I guess my recommendation would be, my thoughts are, put a line item in the commissioner's budget minus what we are going to be, what we already have budgeted elsewhere, highway, the 212,000, and then just put that line item in there, and then we'll be able to cut. Or if everybody just knows that we can't do raises now, let's just say that now and have that cut out now.
I'd like to see what our assessed valuation is before we get too deep into it.
You're not gonna, I bet we don't have assessed values before you even adopt this budget. It'll just be the,
So what kind of figure you want to put in that
-10%.
budget? 400?
No, it's gonna take, what, the commissioner's line item?
Yeah.
No, it's gonna have to be 212.
6?
Do you have a calculator over there?
Just cut
Take
out
take the amount for the insurance, the 1.7,
You're already giving them a raise with the
747,
insurance.
we'll just use 1747000.
minus the 212,
That's
$1,500,000.
That ain't much.
No.
minus the 900,000. It's already budgeted.
That's the one that scares me,
600,000.
Paula, because if we use 900,000 and we only have,
Okay, minus 750,000. Do you need me to start over?
no. We're down to 785.
Okay, that's what'll have to go in there.
What's that on the tax rate? What would that? Got a rough idea?
Oh, that's 125,000 for every percent. I mean, I'm hoping that it's cut somewhere else in the county.
Well,
jail.
that's what, yeah, I think.
It's hard to say until I move these numbers around. That's why I just want big things like this to be in here because you can't put them in after we advertise. So we need a big number in here now, and then if we come back and say we don't need all that in, we at least know that we advertise to the public high.
I think that 785 will do it.
Make it 800, round number.
Yeah, or 800.
That'd be about 6%.
You're gonna be above your G, yeah, it's fine. It's okay.
What was you gonna say?
It's above our growth quota. It's above 2.9%.
Well, I think other things are gonna come off of there. So is it okay to
I'm
be above our,
hoping-
that quotient if we're,
The state's gonna be the one that'll look at that then and say,
for the advertise?
you need to go back and no, when they issue the 1782 notices, they'll say no. They'll just say no, and then we'll be here next year saying where we're gonna come up with the money to pay for it. That's,
I guess what I'm saying is, this is for the
Oh.
advertising.
right,
And if we need to take off the 3% now for the employees' wages, you need to verbalize that. Does that need to come off?
no,
Or-
I'm on there.
Okay.
The next thing that just came in the mail, yesterday that I wanted to get out so you guys can look at it, speaking of another, tax, is we have to do our declaration of county tax rates that we take out of everybody who works a job in Whitley County. So I gave you, I made copies, of what was last year's. Did I pass them out to you already? Oh, each one of you have one. This has to be signed and back to the state by September 15th. Here's what me and Dan and Kim Willer signed last year with no changes. This is for Cadget and Seedit. So if each one of you take that, something to think about, but you'll have to vote on it and make a decision on the September 5th meeting. So we can sign it that day. And I can have it typed up and ready for Dan Ziegler to sign.
And don't we still have to finish going through the commissioner's budget, right?
Yes,
What number did you put in there for health then? Did we put a number in for group
Health
insurance?
insurance,
800 and,
800 even?
that's what I wrote down. I thought we were done. I'm so sorry.
Well, I just don't want it to come back and have all these changes and then you get in trouble for making changes that we
Yeah,
didn't.
because last year that's what I think happened. I need to tell Don too, because I think Don gives me one thing and
Right.
he's already done something again that he changed 7.2 that I'm looking at, and I wrote add liability on here to tell him that I was putting 200,000 in because.
Yeah. That has to come to us as a request and then,
Alright.
So we're now on county commissioners?
yes.
We're off a rainy day. So we're leaving the 900,000 in group insurance on rainy day. Moving the sick time payout to 28, which I think is not gonna cover it.
You know, rainy day was gonna be going down to 750
750, sorry.
because you said you were worried about rainy day.
I am because we don't have money coming in there.
And this 800 for commissioners takes that in consideration.
28,750. And now I'm putting the 800 in there, and we're on to the commissioner's budget.
And you said longevity needed to be increased from 55 to 62.
62.
And then we talked about supplies.
To,
You were gonna check on copy paper prices.
yeah, the Don changed this on 7.2 and bumped the supplies back up to 75,000.
So you're gonna do two things on that. You're gonna check on paper, and you're gonna see if you add up every individual department's request. We
And
may say, even though the commissioners wanna take it out of everybody's budget, we may say, no, we want it to go back to the same because it's costing too much to do it the other way,
Okay.
right?
So I need to do the 2000s all by county general and see if it adds up to 75,000 or less. Should I use the numbers that we changed there, the 6,000 sound? Because we did that in 2 departments. Okay.
Okay.
I told you already about the liability insurance where it has 32,005. That should be 200,000, not 10,000, to pay for our annual renewal of county liability insurance. That's for vehicles and property. Last year it came out of Cume Cap, but I think that
So what happened, that went from $10,000 to 200,000?
we paid it out of Cume Cap last year. Cume Capital should be something material that you improve or buy, like a car or something, not an annual
Liability.
expense.
So did the amount of coverage increase in cost?
Yes, tremendously.
Why is that?
From an incident that happened a year ago. I don't know.
Have they shopped around then?
Yes, and someone's coming in to maybe look at it. Paul Zelty? Am I saying? Zeltz, thank you. To look at that. And this does take into account that the highway has their liability insurance for their vehicles in their budget. So the insurance this year was $218,000 from Star Insurance. So that's why it needs to increase. But that included the ambulance, so you can see that Don did take the ambulance, the $65,000 out of that was the ambulance is included in that $200,000. What else?
I had it highlighted in mental health, that's a formula that we have to do,
We have to do that, that's, yes.
right?
State, when they took away the tax rate for the state portion of it, the county has to expense it now. What was the other thing?
Now, what budget did the internet service go to?
It just got put back up in phone. We weren't dividing it out on the
Okay.
CenturyLink bill. It's the same amount. The record destruction got moved over to, clerk's office. The postage was down again from the usage, but I just don't wanna really take it much lower than the 100,000, but I did make a note on here.
Didn't everybody say that we got these new machines and they're making everything?
Yeah, but even year to date through June, we put 100,000 in postage expenses, used to be huge. But now in the last couple of years, since we all use the internet so much more, we bumped it down from, I think last year was almost 150 or 60 down to 100. And we've used about half of it, 58,000 through June 30th. I just don't know what to say about the legal fees, Paula, seeing that we didn't expense much the year before, but knowing the circumstance of what we paid out. I don't know where else we would have paid those tort claims out of this year. If we have another tort claim, we're gonna be over appropriated for the legal services. I guess that's, you just never know what's gonna happen.
Workman's comp increased 5,000.
Yeah, and it's at 50,000, we've already spent 45,000 for the years.
Well, that would be a one-time payment though, like you pay it like a premium. And I know that Pam has been contacted by them to fill out reports because you pay different rates for different types of workers. You have your plumbers that'll work at this rate, and then your clerical people that'll be charged this rate, because obviously there's less of a risk that a clerical person's gonna get injured than there is a highway person or a deputy. So Pam's working on that, so we may see some fluctuation in that
On that
bill. I
one
think
time
it'd be a savings.
Any other
Yeah.
government lease stays the same?
Yes. Well, we refinanced
Refinanced and went down,
June of 2012, so the February and August payments that's $516,445. Those are straight off the amortization schedule. There's some notes in there, and someone asked about the mental health, that Bowen Center is in there, if you wanted to see that. And then we already discussed the seated plan,
Sure.
and that's it for the budget.
As the township and those budgets come in, do we do a full review, or do I do it as a council
You
president?
do it as a council because you have to vote, and then you sign for them like Kim did last year on all of them, and they have to have them in to me by September 1st, so I put them on your September 5th calendar
All right.
of things to do.
You tell Betty and Galen next time they come in that John Barrett reviewed that library budget and signed it.
But I can tell you one thing, Smith Township does not cost near as much as Cleveland
Oh,
Township.
got their libraries, nothing, is it?
No. Anything else we need to cover?
I'll check on the cum rates and see if we can still establish them.
Yeah, we need to go find $800,000 someplace.
I think too, I just walked over to this seated budget, and now that we see the kind of condition that we're dealing with, and the fact that, you know, commissioners are struggling to even reach the 75% allowance on the seated, if there's anything that you guys come up with or think of to approach the commissioners about as far as putting in a seated plan that could come out of county general, then I think that's
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, because I don't like saying that we're paying our county insurance out of the seated.
No, and I'm not
shouldn't-
talking insurance.
Paying something else that would free up some money.
Right,
Yeah,
that's
something
it.
that would qualify under seated,
Seated.
that's coming out of county general.
I'm making the changes that we talked about today. I'm moving over the wages that we do and putting them into the advertised amount, and then everything will be high. The two things that have to change is that liability insurance and the group insurance, and then that's the way it'll go out to be published. Any other changes?
I think we're all pretty much brain dead.
What's
We
not,
stand,
I wish we was.
there's no further business, we stand adjourned.
Hey, Tom,